Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I'll do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pay stub or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Same us for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
Welcome, everyone, to the show. I am your host, Don Vic. What's up, everyone? What's the vibes? We're in the building, baby. Today, we got a great show. We got 3 guests coming on the show. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. This is the place where you find new talent, new faces, and upcoming stars here all the time live on the Don Vic Show, folks. You already know how it is, and you know how we're bringing it to the table, okay, folks? So we're bringing a good friend of mine, Gary Choiz. He is a stuntman, also a martial artist. He's into the movie, into the filming industry. He was on the show a few months ago. He's back on the show with 2 of his friends, members, also of his team. We're going to be talking to them and finding out exactly what they got going on, what's the story behind their career, and so on and so on and so on, folks. You know how it is. So, first of all, before I bring them on, I want to thank everybody for tuning in on the Don Vic Show. YouTube, you already know the vibes. Big shout out to y'all, Facebook, and everybody around the world. Africa, you know the vibes. Okay, so I have him here on my panel. What's up, IG? Thank you for tuning in, boy. You already know the vibes. So I got my guests here on my panel. I'm going to bring them in one by one, and we're going to talk to them and find out exactly what they got going on and what is this upcoming film, Daredevil Swift. I forgot the last part of it, but we'll bring it up. Okay, so here is Nick.
Hey, y'all.
Here is Tony.
Hey.
And here is Gary.
Hola, ¿cómo está, señores? ¿Está bien?
Oh, my goodness. Sí, claro que sí. Okay, guys. Thank you for coming aboard the show. How you guys doing today?
Wonderful. Thanks for having us.
Doing great.
Thank you guys for being here. Thank all 3 of you guys for being here today. Today is Sunday, I usually be in bed, but I had something to do today. So okay. So Gary, you've been on the show before, you know how this goes. Thank you for coming back and bringing 2 of your partners here today on the show. We get to meet them and know exactly what their job is behind the scene and in front of the scene. We know that Nick is one of your lead actors in this upcoming film. Now Tony is a stuntman.
Yes, sir. He's one of my newer guys, and he does amazing work.
Okay, so tell me how'd you meet Nick and you met Tony?
All right, so Tony sort of blew into our front door one random time, and then I told him, he should come into Albuquerque and start working. And next thing I know, he came in and started working. I was like, all right, guess we're doing this. One of our more recent projects right before we did Daredevil was one in Denver, actually. And he really kicked a lot of ass out there. I mean, he was there, this was his first real time working with me, seeing how we do things and gelling. And, this guy's a trooper. He's just, head on the game, eyes forward, feet on the ground, focused. He had to deal with an actor who, was forgetting his cues, or, how pressure gets you when you're setting a scene.
Tell me
Tony
about it.
was able to cover up for that. So when you watch it, you don't even realize that the actor forgot his choreo. That's how good of a guy Tony is.
Wow, Tony. Jesus. Yeah, go ahead.
And with Nick, we have been talking briefly on Facebook first, right, Nick?
Yeah, I think that was the initial connection. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he posted up a picture about him in Kansas City with the Daredevil glasses, and it was titled the Daredevil in Kansas City. I was like, I'm like, all right, you want to do something? So I just, me being me. I mean, you know me, Vic.
Right.
I'm very straightforward.
Yeah.
I'm straight to the point. I messaged him.
Yeah.
You want to do something about this?
Yeah.
And he was like, what? I'm like, we can.
That lit the fuse, right?
Yeah.
And,
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was thinking, we'll just make a amazing fight scene. Keep it simple, keep it cool. Nick is like, I got you. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I got you. Let me write the script. Let's write a story. I'm like, all right, you know what? We just went from a fight scene to a movie. So let's go.
Good. That's awesome. The good thing, Gary, that I like. So you basically didn't even look at his background. You just saw him and gave him an opportunity.
Well, with depending on who, with Nick,
Okay, with Nick. With Nick.
Nick, like I said, we initially met on Facebook, and they were working on his own project, Sunset Vampires.
Yeah, Sunset vampire film.
So I knew him as an actor. I knew his brother also as the producer, director, and all that. But I didn't know him as a writer. So when he hit me with this script idea, I was like, "Yeah, what? Okay." And it turns out he's almost, he's probably a bigger fan of Daredevil than I am, and that says a lot. I'm really well versed in comic books, and he's one of the few that can probably talk circles on me on that.
Okay, so are you the writer to the Daredevil film, Nick?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so tell us the story about the Daredevil. What actually made you write this script or the story?
Oh wow, yeah. How much time do you have?
You're gonna take shortcuts.
I could say a lot, but yeah, it's like Gary said. I post this picture of me in Kansas City in my Daredevil shirt. I have a Daredevil DD shirt, and it said something like the Daredevil of Kansas City. Everybody, just go along with this. Let me live my dream. And then I think it was like a week later. Gary posts a comment, says, we can make a short film if you use Daredevil.
Hey, we have our director, Phoenix.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
Hey man, thanks. Yeah, welcome. This is our director of Daredevil Scales of Justice, Phoenix Zito.
Okay, thank you. Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Phoenix, I was mid-story about how we got started with the Daredevil script and everything. Anyway, long story short, I'm on the phone with Gary. I'm like, is this for real? And he's like, yeah, we can do it. Like, what level of involvement do you want to have? I said, I'd love to write it, and I would love to be Daredevil, Matt Murdock. He's one of my favorite superheroes since I was a kid. Gary's like, great, cool, yeah, let's do it. Next thing you know, he's talking to Gavin Moore in Washington State because he specializes in cosplay. Super Suits Cosplay is the name of his business, and we're getting measurements of the suit. I'm writing the script. We wanted to keep it centered around a fight scene, but being a writer, it's like I need some story. How can I add as much depth as possible while keeping this as short and concise as possible? That was my goal. Right. So that's hopefully what we did.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Phoenix, you got something to say? I know you want to say something. Go ahead.
Well, I kind of do. I kind of just wanted to piggyback off of Nick's thing there, because I think for sure that you did achieve that. I mean, when I took a look at the script and then I saw how you guys were playing it too, there is so much that he's going through in this short film that's like only really it's under 7 minutes long. But he does have a wide range of emotions, and you brought all of that not only to the script but to your performance with the character.
Thank you.
Cool. So,
Vic,
yeah.
This is the crazy. So Phoenix was not only our director, he's also our camera guy, and he was running double, triple duty, running around on the entire thing almost by himself entirely. It'd be like, okay, what do you need? I need this, this, and this. What do you need? I need this, this, and this. What do you need? I need this. And the guy was just going for it.
Right.
Just trying to do the whole Energizer Bunny thing.
Right. So you don't got a co-director helping you? No, you just
No, I didn't have a co-director. I didn't have any assistant directors. I didn't have a cinematographer, a gaffer, even nothing like that. Not even a PA. So it was all me doing all the crew, except for on the day that we shot the fight scenes. I asked a couple of the stunt guys to come on over and help me with the boom so we could get good sound on it, and that's it.
right. So it's I see what you're doing, Gary. You're building a team, right? And it's hard to build a good team, man. It's hard to build a good team when you're creating a story or putting a story together. You got to get the right people behind it. Once you find the right cast, the right team, then everything else seems to flow easier. You know what I mean? Much easier because I'm saying it from experience. I've been in a couple sets where the director wasn't totally there. He was like he had so much on his plate, where things weren't going smoothly. Into they got the right team, they got the co-director, they got a producer, they got all everyone that they needed in line to do certain things so that the director can focus on directing, the writer can usually writers don't be on set, but I like when they on set because it's their story. They put it together. So when like say I'm an actor and Nick gave me a part, right? And I'm going over my part. With Nick there, I'm playing my character. Nick might see me and say, you know what, Vic, I need you to put a little bit more of this to it, or a little less than that, or do it like this, and I might look at him and say, okay, I got it. I always like when the writers are there because sometimes when you're given a script and you're given a character, you create that character to your best fitting. But then when you go show it to the director or the writer was like, you got the right concept, but that's not the way I see the character. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I kind of like when the writer's there, so I can say, okay, this is the character that I think you're looking for. Let me just run this right by you real quick. And if that's it, we got to go. If not, then you tell me how you see the character, because I already know the lines, right? So all I got to know is what movement the writer sees the actor, portraying the character. So for me, in my opinion, I love when the writers are on set because they can correct a lot of the stuff.
Yep.
So
No,
I
that's
don't
true.
know. I don't
You're
know if
very much
that's
true.
yeah. Go
I
ahead.
would say for us, it's there's that aspect, but for the biggest one is it's a lot of trust. I have to be able to trust everyone on my team and vice versa. I know, I trust Nick's vision. Nick trusts us with building the choreo. He trusted Phoenix to handle everything on the all the planning. Me and
Right.
Phoenix had together, worked together when we could. I mean, he's busy. He's between working Ninja Gym, being on set,
Who's
refining
this,
all the
Phoenix?
details. I mean, this guy is literally he's busy. So it really comes down to just trusting each other and going
Yeah.
with it.
Right. I
Goes back
Yeah,
understand
it's actually where
100%.
I'm at right now. Is I'm at the Ninja Gym. That's why. That's why I was a little late. Sorry about that. I had to finish up
It's
my
fine.
class and rush over.
It's fine. But see, this is why I said what I said. That it's always good to build your team. That way, you wouldn't have to be rushing because you're good. They got your back. So it's hard, and it takes time to get the right people to create the right team, so that we don't, you don't have to wear five hats, Phoenix, or Nick have to wear three hats, or Gary as the stuntman or photographer, I worry about the producer's job, or worry about the writer's job, or Phoenix getting the right angles, you know. Again, goes back to trusting, his work, so that's fine. But as you keep moving on and bringing more people to the project that do certain things, then you say, okay, this is the best person that qualifies for what I want, and that's the people you keep, and I say it because I see it, and I see it when I go out and I do certain films and certain projects. I look at everything. I mean, I look at everything when I go there. First thing I do is I look at the director, see how the director is, his movement. I look at everything. I look at the actors. I look at the producer. Because sometimes you want to have a good environment where people are comfortable, where they don't feel nervous. Because when they start feeling nervous, then expect somebody to mess up on one of their lines or all their lines because they're not comfortable. So that's key too, to a production team. So Phoenix, for you, is this your first film that you are directing for Gary?
Ooh, for Gary, yeah. I mean, I've done another film back when I was in college. I went to film school where I had the stunt team on for my film, but this is the first project where Gary was like more acting as a producer on it. Yes.
Okay.
The one he did wasn't there. Even though he's not talking about it, he brought in a really, really amazing talent, Kisu Stars. He's at. Do you remember the show Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I seen the Airbender.
Yeah, well, he actually has the guy who created the entire bending system as one of his lead actors in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did all the. He's a kung fu master. He did all the reference poses for all the fight scenes in the show.
Dude, that guy was awesome. I loved every bit about that movie. You know, it was well put together. Wow. So Nick, you acting in this film as well?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
You role, right?
Yeah.
What's your character like?
Ooh, great question. Being a big Daredevil fan, there's been different writers for Daredevil. There's been different facets of Daredevil.
Yes.
Different evolutions. Daredevil's been around, I think, since the 60s. I should know that. I think he's been around since the 60s. Yeah. Been a lot of different iterations of the character over the years.
Yes.
I love the most recent show that Netflix did that's now on Disney Plus. I felt like that showed us, some really cool dimensions to Daredevil. What I really keyed in on was this idea that, here's this guy who's, he's blinded when he's a child from an accident, but all of his other senses are enhanced. So, he kind of lives in this dark world. And I find it fascinating, too, that he's a Catholic. And I sort of honed in on his moral conflict about what he's doing as a vigilante. There's this tension between, he's a lawyer, he's a Catholic, and he's a vigilante. And yeah, that's a lot to balance.
That's a lot. How do you play all characters? But go ahead.
Not to mention the whole like actor thing where he pretends to be blind all the time. I mean, he is blind, but he pretends to not be able to get around without the cane. And
right. Yeah, exactly. He's got to sort of pretend that he doesn't have hypersenses. But I sort of keyed in on this version of Daredevil that when he's Matt Murdock, he's very reflective. I don't want to give away too much about the story.
Right.
There's voiceover, and Phoenix and I talked about it. I said, Phoenix, I want this voiceover to read like a prayer, like he's praying. There's this sort of tender part of him that's very reflective about what he's doing. But then I like this idea that when he becomes Daredevil, he's really becoming an embodiment of his anger. So he's very angry at injustice. And he almost kind of becomes the devil. So there's sort of like some ambiguity about him. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? That's something that we tried to key in on in this. So hopefully we show you a new dimension of the character, even though we only do it in like 6 or 7 minutes.
Wow, that reminds me of the movie with Nicolas Cage, where he plays the devil. Was it the Hell Devil or Hell something? When he's in the motorcycle, remember? Oh, and he turns in fire when he's
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
I was way off. I said Ghost Hell what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great movie. So, wow. So you get to play blind man as well?
I did my best. All respect to the blind community. I tried to be this guy with blindness but has hypersenses. So.
Right.
Yeah, there's some scenes with Matt Murdock in there.
Okay, so what inspires you more about the filming industry? What really drives you?
Oh, story. I mean, I've been a storyteller since I was a little kid.
Okay.
I love becoming a character. I love, just getting engrossed in a story. We mentioned Sunset earlier. That's a feature film that my brother and I are developing. It's a vampire film set in Albuquerque in the 1980s. And I'll listen to 80s music. I will, my wardrobe will become a little more 80s. I just love going inside of a world and creating something from that world. Like going deep into the well and pulling something out, kind of
Right,
like,
right.
I don't know, you think about like, like Carl Jung and the unconscious, there's this deep world in our unconscious. I like adventuring down there, pulling something out to show everybody.
Right. I
So
get
it's
it.
kind of
I get it.
a very writer answer, I realize, but that's what I love doing. I just love like, pulling out an interesting story that,
Right.
is exciting and we all relate to. I mean, I was moved by movies growing up, like I remember like probably myself, but I remember like, I was a little kid, but I remember Batman 1989 kept coming out.
Yeah.
Big deal. It's so exciting. Like, stuff like that makes me want to make movies.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Phoenix, for you, what side would you like? Do you like to be on the most? On the directing side, filming side, or the acting side?
That's a tough question. I mean, I think I like doing directing more. I will definitely act, though. I have done it a lot, and I plan on doing it more. But directing, it does take a lot more. I feel like just prep wise in the beginning, it's like a lot of rushing around and a lot of coordinating with all these other people. So it takes more in that way. Whereas acting, it still, don't get me wrong, it takes a lot. But it's I don't know. It's just the communicating with everybody. That's the part that just is is the biggest thing to work on. So I love directing, and I love how collaborative it can be.
Right. I love the directing part because I'm the boss.
Nick Cole is an outstanding director. I loved working with him. And
with who? With Phoenix?
Phoenix, yeah. He's tired of me thanking him in person. Now I'm thanking him publicly.
Well, that's great. That you guys. So before this film, did Phoenix? Did you know Nick? Nick, did you know Phoenix, or did you guys?
No.
You guys hooked up with Gary.
Gary,
yes.
Touch. Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. I truly believe that. And I say this all the time because it happens to me that God places you in certain places for certain reasons. And who knows how long Gary's been looking for a good director, a writer like Nick. That can help him out in his projects. And here, God puts Nick with his glasses on, and bam, Gary finds him. Phoenix, I don't know how you guys met, but boom, he put you in his way, and now you guys are working together and you're going to create something beautiful. And I truly believe in that God put us in places sometimes so that we can meet the right people, move forward, and create great films together. So, what's your goal right now, as far as filming, Nick?
Just like kind of like my career goal, or
let's go with your career goal.
Okay. Again, I can be long-winded. I'll try to keep it tight. But we live in this community of Albuquerque, New Mexico, and it's an amazing time to be here making movies. There's a long history of films being made in this area.
Yeah.
And there's more and more of a bridge between Hollywood and Tamalewood, as we like to call it, being built. And I'm on a mission with my brother.
Sorry. I don't know where you're going with it.
That was my reaction.
Are you a comedian? Because I'm gonna take it as that was a comedy joke.
That's how hard I laughed when someone first told me tamale.
That was good. I like it.
Oh, I love it.
So anyway, my brother and I, our mission is to very much help continue building that bridge, and we want to help make Albuquerque a place where a filmmaker can live and work, make a living on movies, from ideation to distribution. Do it all right here. It's a very ambitious goal, but it's worth doing. So that's kind of like the big picture what we're trying to do. And our first major product would be this film Sunset that we're working on.
Awesome. So, all right. What would you say, Phoenix, is the hardest part for you as a director?
Oh, I think, like I said earlier, especially when I'm doing the one-man band type thing, and I don't have a lot of crew to help me, to help me out with all the little things, right?
Right.
It's just the massive amount of coordination that needs to be taking place. You need to make sure you're communicating as well as you can with everybody, and then in your mind keep track of exactly where you're at and what you need moving forward.
Right.
And you can prep for that as well as you can by making a lot of lists and things like that. But on the day, things can change in a fly, and then it's also having to have that flexibility to be like, okay, well, I wanted to do this, it's not going to work, so here's what we're going to do instead.
Right. Okay.
We actually got rained out.
We did. Yeah, we got delayed by the rain for a few hours. I originally didn't even think we would be able to shoot on our target date because I was thinking there might be puddles in the back, and then I finally got to the location and everybody took a look at it and was confident that they could perform it. So it just ended up being a free wet down.
That's awesome. I went through the same thing in Vegas for a shoot that I went to do Desert Fiends with Nicole Vegas, producer, and Sean C. Phillips as a director. And we went there. Vegas is warm. But the day of the shoot, it was so damn cold. I mean, people were shivering. I don't know how they got to say their lines without their mouth shaking because it was so damn cold. And I was freezing. I'm from the north. I'm from and it was cold there. So I knew that those people that come from Vegas or California were freezing. Okay. But we got it done, and circumstances like that can delay projects.
Yes, they can.
especially if money's involved when you spending money on having a director come out and whatever the case may be. So yeah, that could be a problem. So moving forward, this film, Daredevil, how long are you guys filming for?
Oh, we done, brother.
Yeah, we're fully wrapped on that.
Okay,
Yeah, we had our 2 set days. And the first day was all about filming a lot of the Matt Murdock type stuff. And then on the second day, we came back in, did everything with Daredevil, including the massive fight scene, which is like a 5-minute long fight scene. And we got it all done in under 5 hours.
It was like about a month or so of preparation. We practiced we choreographed the fight. Gary choreographed the fight, did a beautiful job.
Yeah, big shout out to Gary and to Nick. Gary choreographed the whole thing. He got all the guys we needed to in place, and then Nick for being there every other day, practicing for hours on end, making sure that it was all exactly as it needed to be.
Right, Nick. You
being 4-on-1. It's a 4-on-1 fight scene.
There's more than
I remember,
four of them, right?
Early on, Gary asked me, "Well, how many guys do you want to fight?" I was like, "How many guys can I fight?"
One.
It's a 6-on-1. He beats up 6 guys in that scene.
Holy crap! 6-on-1.
Well, here's the crazy part. Nick's not a trained stuntman, so we actually had to build it from ground up. I had to lean on his experiences as a boxer, so everything was suited for him, so that way we could make it work. But yeah, he had no prior training, no nothing. He came in, busted his ass every single day he could. And we did 2-hour training sessions with just running it repeatedly again and again.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Nick, as a lead role, right?
Yeah.
What do you find difficult about your role as far as, memorizing it?
Oh, well, I think well, in this case, having written it, I pretty much went in knowing the lines,
Okay, right.
When you've written the lines, it's a little easier to be off book,
And I think it's funny too if you ad lib or improv, you're like, oh no, it's just a rewrite. It's all good. I'm the writer. I can do that.
Yeah. And I will say that we obviously had a lot of creative control in the situation, Phoenix and I.
Right.
The thing that I always look for in my writing and also in my acting is authenticity. So there was things that emerged on the day, on the day of during rehearsals on the day of shooting that was like, you know, we knew our characters, we knew the basic lines, and you know, someone would ad lib something, and I'd be like, oh, that's great, keep that. You know, that works for the character. XYZ. Kind of like you were saying, Victor. Sometimes the writer has a lot of insight into characters.
Yeah, well,
my co-star and kind of the key villain is Michael Sean Lemaire.
okay.
He's a great actor. He was great to act across from. And
shout out to him.
He brought a lot. Yeah, shout out to him. He brought a lot to his character. You know, and you know, I remember I written this line. It was like, you know, because again, I don't want to give away too much, but at some point, like Daredevil confronts him, and he goes, "What do you mean? I'm like," the line was like, "I'm innocent," but Michael said, "Didn't you hear? I'm innocent." So like, didn't you hear? You know, slight that it was just brilliant. I was like, Michael, it's great. Keep that. You know,
right. So okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
so because it's easier because you wrote the film. So you know, how do you prepare, right? How do you prepare yourself to memorize? What do you do to actually memorize these lines? Because it's not easy. I mean, you know, I'm getting script with only a paragraph, and it takes me 3 months to get the paragraph. So,
yeah.
You know, so I mean, some of us, you know, got good memories. Some of us don't, like me. I gotta read it like 50 times. You know, so how do you prepare for that?
That's a great question. So yeah, more nitty gritty. Like, how do you know your lines? You know, I think there's people that just have different learning styles. For me, like literally visualizing words on a page in my brain helps me.
Okay.
And so I do that. You know, I'm also a writer in other regards too. I've written songs, and you know, I'll remember song lyrics by like, how do they look on the page? You know, so it's just weird. My brain's able to retain like how the words are laid out on the page. So that's, you know, so I'll consciously try to remember like what they look like on the page. That's kind of like my basic answer. Like, how do I remember stuff? That's
right. I only ask you that because anyone that's watching and is wondering, damn, how did this guy memorize a line? You know, it's always good to know how people prepare. You know, I prepare like different. You know, I read my script and say if I got a line with you, Nick, or with Phoenix, I try to remember the last line that you say. I try to memorize that last line, and I know that's my cue.
Yeah,
you know, that's my cue to come in right after Phoenix or Nick, because you know, knowing that I have that problem memorizing when it's a lot.
Yeah,
I try to break it down to what is easier for me. So when I read a script, say it's a page long, and it's Nick, then me, the Nick, then me, the Nick, right? So I'll read Nick's line, and I'll take his last line. I'll try to memorize that last line, and then I'll read my line, and I know that's where I pick up where Nick ended off. Boom, that's my cue for me to say my line. Boom, boom, boom. Then when I say my line, and I hear Nick go again, and I hear that last line, I know that's my cue to come in. So that's kind of how like I do it.
That's great, and I'm glad actually you brought this up because you're kind of talking about preparation, and it can be really tough. Like when you're on set, and there's lights, and there's camera, and there's pressure, and you know that preparation goes so far. Like you know everyone's relying on you to know your lines at that moment. So whatever you can do to be prepared.
Yeah, and you know sometimes you know I'm always nervous when I'm on set, always, because I want to do the best, right? And sometimes, you know, I might switch a word that's on my script, or I might miss a word, you know, or I might add one, but it's still in this, you know, it's still the right word. It's just a different word, you know. So sometimes they ride with it too. And improv, I like when a director lets you improv. You know, why I say that? Because sometimes the director has to focus on what he wants to see, right? But you as an actor, sometimes you say, okay, I'm gonna do it his way, but man, if I was to add this to it or say this to it, it'll be more realistic, you know. So an example, say say Phoenix says to you, Nick, I want you to go into the, into the bar with guns blazing. Boom, 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 right? You say, okay, I could do that. But then you like in your head, you say, man, wouldn't it be more doper if I was to jump through the window, break the window, and shoot? Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You would have been like, well, whoa, shit, that sounds more, doable than just walking through the door and shooting. Let's jump through the window, break the glass, and while you're in the air, you're shooting, and then you land and you roll over and you.
Yeah, but it just gives me more of a headache for
I
work.
was just gonna say.
See, you guys say that's cool. I'm sitting here in the corner going, oh God, oh God, oh God. I need to prep the breakaway glass. I need to prep the breakaway table. I need to, who's going to take the fall? So I got to do that. So while it's cool, you just give me a heart attacks and headaches.
Yes, but I always say, right, this is my thing. If you're going to do something, you're going to go all the way with it and you want to do it right. So, when scenes for me, right, because I'm going to direct my movie soon. I'm working on a film myself. I want to do it. I want to look at all angles, right, before I shoot a scene. How can we do it? How would it look better? Let's try it like this. Let's try it like that before we shoot, because I want to get the right. I want to get the right stunt and I want to get the right shot. I don't want to shoot it first and then you come up with the idea and I'm like, man, why didn't you tell me that before I shot it? That sounds dope. Like, this sounds like it could be better than the first scene. So, and this is why I ask these questions. So when I get ready to do mine, I already come prepared and know what I got to look at and put together. So this is great. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's definitely a good thing, being as collaborative as you can.
Yes. Definitely.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. What were you saying?
Nothing. You're right. You're right. Looking at everything in every angle is always good for every scene. And Nick being a writer, could probably vouch for that. The fact that you can look at it, at different ways, do a stunt different, scene different ways, just to see which one fits best.
So I'm really grateful for my brother because I can picture a scene in my mind like I'm there. I can write it down, but then my brother would be like, okay, well, how do we translate this to film?
Right.
And we need guys like you, Phoenix, Victor. We need guys like you that can visualize. Okay, I know exactly how that's going to play.
Right. So, and that's this is what makes me better, as a future director. Is to learn from you guys, seeing how you guys look at it, your perspective of things, and Phoenix being a director, seeing how he works and how he looked at things, and Gary being a stunt guy and a martial art. Whenever I get ready to film, if I need help, I know where to look. I know where to look. You know what I mean? So it's fascinating that you guys are working together. You're putting this film together. You put this film together. Where is this film playing? Is it playing now? Is it on Amazon? Is it like where is this film playing? It's
in the editing process currently. So actually, just this morning, I shipped out the first rough cut over to Nick, and he was able to be the first person aside from myself to get eyes on it.
Oh, okay.
And then as soon as that's finished, then we're hoping to maybe do a couple festivals, maybe some local ones, and then probably just straight to YouTube, because it's a fan film, it's not for profit, so we can't put it up on Amazon or anything like that. But
okay, I see. Is that something that you guys are looking forward to gain distribution in the future for theater, maybe Netflix, Tubi and stuff like that?
Eventually with other films, but not this one because it's a fan film. But
okay.
I'm sure that's the goal for all of us, is to be able to get one of our movies up there. I mean, I do really hope to see Sunset to be up on Tubi, so that way we can watch a better vampire movie. There just hasn't been any good vampire movies recently.
What's the what is it? Sunset? What?
Yeah, this is the 80s vampire.
What's the name of the film that you said? Sunset?
Sunset, yeah.
Sunset.
That's the 80s vampire film that's under development with my brother and I, the Marcotte brothers. And we're polishing up the feature script right now. We actually just finished the proof of concept, which is also a short. We're calling it A Scene from Sunset, and hopefully that'll be at festivals soon as well.
So listen, my friends. See, this is why I love my friends. So Ashley Hargrove, she's actually a director. She's filming a film called Marriage Bites right now. It's like a vampire horror film
Oh, cool.
slash comedy. Yes, she's amazing. She says AMC Theaters is running an indie film program to look into for later films.
Oh, interesting.
So you may want to write that down and
Cool.
look into that. AMC Theaters. I don't know if you know about that, Gary.
Not yet, but that's good to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, this guys, right? Like, I'm glad you guys came on my show. I know a lot of directors around the world. I know a lot of producers as well. You know, people that are doing things that are actually filming as we speak. That it's always good to connect with them. You know, with directors, actors with actors, producers with producers, and then everybody in general. Because that's how I look at as we all going to grow together. And something that Nick might not know, one of my other friends might know, and then collab. Everybody gets to exchange information and start to grow. We grow together as a team. I'm a team player. You know, I bring people like you guys on my show because I like to see the talent. I like to see the ideas. I like to see where you're going. You know, see yourself 5 years from now. And that, to tell you the truth, boys, that inspires me more to do what I want to do as far as being actor and future director. You guys give me the fire to keep doing it. And on top of that, you know, I love to connect. I love to do connections. I love to connect directors with other people that are doing things in different films, so that you can learn more, be a part of the project, you know, or your services may be needed in other projects. So if I can, get you work somewhere else, that's what I do. You know, so I'm glad that you guys are here today. Came here. Oh, she Ashley says also Film Hub if you haven't. So Film Hub. You guys might want to write that down. See, Ashley was on my show recently. She's very knowledgeable on that side of the industry. You know, she knows that side of the producing side, the directing side, and everything else that needs to be done paperwork wise before you even put films where they need to be. So this is always good to know. And again, you know, she was also part of Skate to Hell. I don't know if you guys know about Skate to Hell. It's a film. It's a horror film that came out by Chauncey Phillip and Nicole. She's also in that film as an actress. Yeah. So she's an actress.
I like the name.
And yeah. Yes. She's an actress, director, producer. Yeah. Daredevil was a nice that's Daredevil, Skate to Hell, Desert Fiends. I'm in that film. You know, those are all great names, catchy names and stuff like that. So who's doing the sound for this? Who did the sound for the project?
So we had one of our stunt guys, Dan, actually operate the boom mic on the second day. For the whole first day that we were shooting, it's a lot of non-diegetic sound. So we didn't have any dialogue that happened. It's all internal. So we just went to a sound booth. Actually, Nick did later on and recorded all his lines and got those sent back in. And they sound fantastic.
Right. Is it hard? Okay, Nick, is it hard to connect the voice to the character when you're just doing the voice?
You know, it was actually easier for me
to connect with, because it's hard. I seen a movie where the guy was talking and his voiceover was way ahead of him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's going on here?
Well, yeah, and the voiceover I did was Matt Murdock's inner dialogue, so I didn't have to match with any picture or anything.
Okay.
It's obviously very tricky, And you asked about memorizing lines earlier. I was like, wow, I kind of got off easy a little bit because, a lot of my lines were just Matt Murdock's inner thoughts. And I'm standing in a dark sound booth, reading off my script, which is, I was really able to like be Matt Murdock in this like dark world, So I really liked it, for this project. Yeah.
Right. A lot of people say that. A lot of people say that they love doing the voiceovers, than actually acting because you're reading off the script, so you're not forgetting a line. You just wording it out the way you need to word it out. And I want to try that one day. I want to do that with maybe a cartoon. Do a cartoon voice.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
I want to do that. So what other projects are you guys working on or thinking of working on?
Rising Star Stunt Team's always got something going on. What do you guys got going on, Gary?
I just hooked up one of our guys to a project out in Kansas. Got another guy hitting us up for another action movie out there. So we might be sending our team out there in the next week or two. After that, I personally have to go to Denver again for another little stunt gig. And it's just, like a little drama where a girl has to fall down the mountainside. So I got to sit there and figure that out. What else do I have? There's a few other projects are cooking, so about 3 or 4 things at once. It's always.
Are you allowed to mention some of those other ones that you just finished, or is that NDA?
We finished Seraphim, which we're going to be talking to Victor soon about doing another meetup time with that one. Seraphim was a fan film for John Wick, so we were out in Colorado Springs for 3 days, and it was just nonstop action and fighting for 3 days straight. We had to kill our previous stunt guy, Tony. We had to kill him off like 9 different times, and he had to be a different guy each time. So
what?
We're doing a lot of the tricks of the trade.
Wow, that's amazing. So Gary, do you get called a lot to go to certain spots just to do stunts and do some of the martial art training that you do for some of these projects?
That's sort of the dream. A lot of them, there are people who I link up with and like, hey, we need you for this. Like the one in Kansas, one of the UPMs, she called me up, asked me to help out, give my, weigh in my my expertise, and I suggested one of our guys out there, Lewis Root, had to do his thing. Phoenix, Lewis, you remember him?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like
so
Lewis.
He's taking over as a stunt coordinator job out there. So it's usually between either me looking and finding work for everyone, or B, people coming to us saying, hey, we need X, Y, and Z stunt. We need you to coordinate, or do you have a person who can act and stunt? And usually it's like, okay, well, we have this person going to do this. We have this person do it.
Right.
It's a lot of delegation.
Right.
It's more fun fighting, but we play with what we got.
Right. Do you know stuntman, actor, Hollywood actor, John Ozuna?
Yeah, I know John. Me and him, we talked quite a bit for a while.
John was awesome. He's really good.
Yeah, we were talking about possibly working together a while back ago, but then with the strike and everything happening, talks sort of just fizzled. But I love that guy. He's very professional. I saw what he was making and it looked great. Me and him were trading stories. Yeah, I met him. Was it 2 years ago, give or take, at Dragon Fest.
Like
at Dragon Fest. Okay.
Yeah, Dragon Fest is basically like a little martial arts convention they do out in Cali at the Martial Arts Museum, and he was there, and me and him were talking about possibly working together. So yeah, no, guy's great guy, super fun. But yeah.
Yeah. So John Ozuna is also he's a very good friend of mine, and I met him at the Oscars in Hollywood when they had it recently this year. I was out there. I was called out to be a part of that red carpet and Oscars. So I met him there among some other great Hollywood actors, and a lot of these actors, a lot of them are still looking for work. Hollywood is not like it used to be.
Nope.
I see a lot of actors doing Indiegogo films and independent films. So I think this is a good opportunity for upcoming directors to reach out to some of these, actors that can probably get into some of their films and help the film get some recognition, and also they get recognition for that. And I think it'll open more doors as far as you trying to get into Netflix, get into Tubi when you got A-list names in a project. And that's what I'm seeing now. Like we had like 6 of them in Desert Fiends. We had like 6 A-list actors, that I grew up like Nick in the 80s. I grew up as a kid watching these actors act and do comedy. And I was like, man, someday I would like to do a film with these people, and here I am 50 years later doing a film with these A-act actors, I was like, holy crap, is this Tom Arnold? Is this Tom Arnold? Like, are you kidding me? I was like, really, wow, I made my dreams come true 50 years later. But, it took hard work. It took hard work and dedication to stick to one thing. And see, us men, right, most of us, we have a tendency of starting something, right? We start something, we go almost all the way, and then we stop. For some reason, we don't complete it. Then you sit back 2 years in and be like, man, I wonder what would have happened if I would have finished this project, or where would I been if I would have finished it, or what would it look like if we would have finished it? And I said to myself, I'm never going to do that again. Now I'm going to start something, and I'm going to go all the way to the end to see what the end is. Because sometimes we lack on stuff, and it's the stuff that can take us to the next level. And we for some reason or another, we don't finish it. And I just want to say to anyone out there that's creating a project, that's into something, don't let nothing come in your way to finishing that project. Get to the end of it, and then see the results. Okay, they could be good, they can be so and so, or they can be bad. Either way, you can work with it, but you have to finish it. Phoenix, you being a director, what advice would you give anyone that wants to be a director?
Sure. I mean, my role coming into it was different than say a lot of other people, because I went through the film school route where I was very indecisive about what I wanted to do. I mean, really, I just wanted to get on as many projects as possible.
Right.
So I know how to do all these different departments, which really, as a director, you don't need to be able to do. You just need to be able to communicate your vision and your interpretation of the script, and then have conversations with people to relay that message back. And that's I think the most important part. And then admitting when you need help, because everybody needs help. Making films is freaking hard, dude. It can get really overwhelming. So being able to take a step back, put the ego or pride to the side, and being like, hey man, could you help me out with this for a second? I really need an extra hand. And that goes such a long way. Prep time. Most of the hard work, I feel like, happens within prep time. Making sure you have absolutely everything taken care of, so that if anything goes wrong, you have your contingencies on point.
Right.
Any last little thing that can go wrong, the saying is like, that it will go wrong. So making sure that you have every base covered is such a huge thing.
Okay, so you being a director, do you like having your writer next to you, or next or by you, or you rather him not be around you? You got it.
Answer
Well,
carefully.
oh, I hated it. It was the worst. No. Yeah, this is the first project I've actually directed where I didn't write it. So that was a lot of fun. That was really, really interesting. So I did. I had a lot, Nick and I had a lot of conversations about specific moments in the film, or even just about what we felt like the costume should look like, or what it should feel like, what it should, what's the atmosphere, and just all these extra conversations that I haven't had before because I've never worked with a writer, but this time I did, and yeah, I think it's just about adapting to that, and I think we communicated pretty well and worked pretty well together.
Right.
Had a good time.
And that's and I'm glad you said that, and that's the advantage that a director has when you have a writer with you. When the director and writer together, that's the advantage you have, that you can have those conversations versus you doing it by yourself. You got the script, now you got to figure out what looks best, but by having the writer with you, because he is the visionary, right? He's the guy that sees it. He wrote it, and you see it too because you wrote it. But when you guys communicate like that, then you have a better vision of what you want to put or what you want to catch on camera. So to me,
I want to make sure I'm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I just want to make sure I'm not betraying his initial vision, and I'm carrying it through, and not, I don't know what words we're allowed to say on here. Make sure I'm not taking a left turn. Okay, make sure I'm not bastardizing his vision, and making sure that I'm carrying it through as intended. And I'm putting my best foot forward, of course, and I have my own thoughts and ideas of what should happen and what it should feel like. So it's just about having those conversations. Yeah.
Right. And Nick, what would you say, Nick?
Yes, sir. I think it should be a dialogue between the writer and the director, because there's things Phoenix brought to the table. It's like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, or I like that better than what I originally. Right. So I think when it all goes back to the team thing, right? When you have a team together really well, my brother Trevor is a great director, and we have a great working relationship. There's a lot of input into the writing. There's a lot of dialogue about that, a lot of back and forth. And I think, that's what happened with Phoenix, and I think that leads to a better product overall. Yeah,
I agree. I agree 100%. I say just for from experience, that I've seen directors do it on their own, and some of them be stressed out because they're looking at the script, they're trying to figure out. They don't say it, but you pick up on that when you be around for a while. You pick up certain things like that. They're frustrated, and and then I seen directors with writers, and they're more chill, they're more laid back. When they wasn't too sure about something, they'll call the writer over and say, hey, they'll go over whatever it is. And then you see the writer say, yeah, try that. Or, no, just shoot that. So I seen a sense of relief on certain directors when they work with their writers. So but if you guys work together and you guys get along, then that's good. I mean, that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you want to finish the film. Have you guys had anyone on set that you guys needed a boot?
Oh, this guy named Phoenix. He was just so annoying. He would just pick up the camera every time we want to film a scene. He just picked up the camera and just ran off with it. I just can't work with that.
I get it. Just
I would go play hide and seek with it, go stash it somewhere. Like, all right, now go find it.
We eventually invited him back.
Hey Nick, wasn't there also this other guy? He forgot to bring the blood, so we had to bleed out Phoenix again. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I had to tap my vein and use some of my practical blood, but
Boy, so what other film besides this one, Phoenix, have you directed that's been out yet, or?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at my YouTube channel. It's coming soon on VHS. The old cassette tapes is the name of it.
That's actually the name of the YouTube channel. It's not actually coming soon on VHS.
Yeah. It's the name of the YouTube channel. I wish we could release this on VHS. That'd be sick. But I don't have a VCR, so I wouldn't be able to watch it. Yeah, no. So I've got a few up there, and then I've got a couple others. Like my biggest one I did was a sci-fi kung fu movie with Kisu that Gary was talking about, which it was called Digital Fires. It was interesting. You know, that it was meant to have a part two, but it was like, well, the first one cost a lot of money, and we didn't really want to. You know, we just kind of let that one be. But like, you know, I've shot a lot of just action oriented stuff.
Right.
Really, and that's why I liked this one a lot more, because I got to step back from action a little bit and throw in a little bit more drama with the internal dialogue and the tension in the beginning, and try to focus more on that.
What's your choice of movies to film and Nick to write? Horror, action, comedy, love stories. Like, what's your preference? Like, what do you love most to write about or even shoot?
Oh, I love trying to walk multiple lines. Like Sunset, for example, is a horror comedy. You know,
Horror comedy.
I love Ghostbusters, right? Where it's like the funny is really funny, the scary is really scary. I like very full movies like that have a lot of range. So I you know, and it's a challenge as a writer to make that tone work, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I like. I like kind of mixing genres personally.
You're like Ashley. You're like Ashley. Ashley likes horror comedy films. So does Chauncey Phillip. But see, when those writers like yourself that love that type of get together, man, as a group, and you can come out with some amazing stories. Like, I think one of the best movies put together for me, my opinion, and I know there was a lot of thinking process going into this movie, was Avatar. Avatar was an amazing film. I don't know who put that together, but it took me to the next dimension. I was like, whoa, this is different. I ain't never seen this before, you know. So
yeah, it's James Cameron, same guy who did Terminator. So
same guy who did like, talk about range, you know, like he's actually one of my favorite directors. Like, I love Aliens, I love Terminator. You know?
Yes, me too. You know, so you know when you put people
the first Terminator all gorilla, right?
Who did?
James Cameron. He did the first Terminator majority gorilla shots because they couldn't afford to pay the permits.
Oh,
yeah, I've heard a couple little fun anecdotes from that set. Yeah,
for real.
Like evidently, he and Arnold will be like, "Hey, we need this scene here. Can we do this?" And then Arnold will be like, "Okay, let's just do it. Film it real quick, then move on to the next one." That's why the first one had that grittiness, is because they were just making it work.
Right. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes you don't get permanent. Let's get it right quick. While we moving, we're gonna get the shot. Ready, action. I get it, you know.
Very much true.
Right. So, you know, I don't know, like for me, I'm in Boston. I'm from Boston. And I know a lot of people out here that own businesses and own all types of stuff. And, you know, so I think when it comes to me filming, I'm not going to have a big of a problem to get my shots, because, you know, I know people that own mansions and own stores, barbershops, car lots, you know, so,
that's great.
You know, all I got to say, hey, listen, I'm going to put your promote your stuff on my film, you know, a lot of it'll be great. They'll be like, okay. You know, so that's the advantage it got on my side of town, that I know a lot of people, and they, you know, they're good with doing favors and helping out, especially when we're representing, you know, their product as well. A lot of people just be like, okay, as long as you know, can put the name of my store in the film, I'm fine with it. I say, okay. You know, so there's ways to get around stuff without having to pay so much money for these locations. Some you have to pay because you have no other choice, but for most of us, if you got friends that own locations and you need that location, I'm pretty sure they'll let you film in there.
I'm glad you said that, actually, because yeah, we live in a very supportive a community that's very supportive of the film scene.
Here you
can
go.
partner with businesses. We had a lot of businesses sponsor us when we made a scene from Sunset short.
Yeah.
A lot of businesses sponsored us, and you know, and it promotes them. It helps local business. Like,
Yes.
you know, I'm really glad you said that. That's a great way to do it. Just, you know, make friends with local businesses.
That's listen, that's the cheapest way, you know, and I tell you this because I you know, I bring you guys on my show and I listen to you guys talk, and you know, this person says, you know, it cost me this much money, I had to rent this out, this rent out. I said, well, how can I do it without getting have to pay? I said, wait a minute, I got my homies own stores, businesses, buildings, you know, garages that I can use that, you know, and it's not going to cost me a fortune to do. Either I can have them be a part of the film where I can show their, you know, their location and give them a little love, you know, and maybe throw a few dollars and get it done. Some might say, you know what, you don't need to pay me. I wanna help out. What do you need? Well, I need this for maybe a couple hours, maybe an hour on Sunday when it's closed. Just come in here and shoot. Okay, you got that. You know. Go ahead.
About Daredevil Scale of Justice, our main set for the fight was the alley of the gym that Phoenix is currently at right now, the Ultimate Ninja Obstacle Gym in Albuquerque.
You see?
So thank you, Ultimate Ninja Obstacle Gym.
Big shout out to them. Big shout out. Yes,
on behalf of UNAA.
And you know the owner of the space, and you're just like, yeah, go ahead, film here.
Yeah. It's you know, if you got the right team and you know you're thinking correctly, you know, and you come up with a number on a budget, you know, if you got these things, man, the number's gonna go really, it's gonna go down some. You know, if you got people that can help you with locations and stuff like that, because locations can cost, you know, especially if you need a permit, you know, and how long you're gonna be here, you know, versus somebody that you know that might have a warehouse and say you can use it as much as you can, you know, and you can use the warehouse and do different sets. You can, you know, I've been in a warehouse recently where I did this movie in Baltimore called Split Personality. We went into this location, right, guys, and it had every setup you can think of inside. Every setup, a kitchen, rooms, you know, a law office, a regular office, a jail with bars. Like, this location was hooked up just for filming. And I told the director, I said, listen, June, this is the best spot you could ever rent, because anything you need to shoot is right here. You know, so I don't know if you guys have access of that type of location, but that will save you a whole lot of money as far as shooting. If you can get a location that it's already built for filming, you know, so maybe you can Google that in your town, you know, and see what pops up, and maybe that can help with the budget.
Yeah, I think we have one of those. Is it called Bunkhouse Studios?
Yep, and they have a jail cell. They have a alley. They actually built a New York street style alley. They have a bathtub. They have a 70s style bar, and I busted.
They have a bathtub. Oh man, I've been needing one of those for a while.
Dan's been telling me you've been smelling pretty bad there, dude.
That's the smell I'm catching. Is that Phoenix? Holy shit, Phoenix! Where we gonna get? We gonna give Phoenix some baby powder. We gonna give him some Secret Direct and some spray. You all right?
Good. I'm happy to accept this care package. I'll do it. It's like a goodie bag for coming on the show. I'll take it.
All righty. So we all set. So guys, you know, okay, this is the question I want to ask. How do you guys feel working with each other as individuals? What's the vibe there?
I love these guys. Phoenix may drive me up the wall, but you know, I still love and respect him a lot. Nick, you know, even though we're sort of still new at being friends, honestly, he does great work, and I really respect his writing.
Okay. Cool.
I can speak as somebody who kind of I'm like the newcomer, to this
Right.
group.
Right.
I'll just say that this is my first rodeo in a lot of ways. I was never a lead in an action film before,
Right.
short or otherwise. And so I had a lot of trust in Gary and the Rising Star stunt team in Phoenix, and my trust was not misplaced. They took good care of me. It's a very friendly environment that they foster. Everyone's learning. So there's a lot of just encouragement, learning, and friendliness in the environment. Like that. That's
Right.
how I describe the Rising Star stunt team
Right.
culture. That was, I flourished in those environments, so I was really happy.
Good. And soon you call it your family. Once you start to get real comfortable, like I got to the point where I got different directors that I work with, right? But they're all my families. We bonded so well that those are my brothers and sisters. So whenever I go on any of those sets, I'm going with arms wide open. I'm going comfortable. I'm not going to go do my job. I'm going to have fun while I'm at it. I'm going to go see my friends. We're going to do our job, get this done, do it right. And then we have fun afterwards, And I think that's big for me, is the family, the people that I bring into my life. That to me is the most important thing of the whole project, is being able to find good people, humble people, people that are thinking similar to what you're thinking, to people that are ambitious and have a goal, because you got to have a goal, not just come in and be an actor, say, okay, I acted. You have got to have a goal. Where do you see yourself 4 or 5 years from now? Maybe you're acting. Maybe you want to be a director in 5 years. Who knows? Maybe you want to be a writer. But you have to have some type of goal to motivate you, to keep that hunger, be able to do better and see yourself climb, in this industry. Because we all know this is a cock block industry. And, there's a lot of screen smoke, as I say. A lot of people that say they do this, they do that, when you find out they're really not doing anything. So there's a lot of things that you really got to look out for. But when you're working with a great team, when you're working with a team that's been out there and know the industry, then you start to learn, and you see the red flags coming before they even come to you. So knowing that you're new, Nick, at this, I'm pretty sure that you will get comfortable where you'll be able to call these brothers your family. Because it's easy to say, I'm in this project, but to call a group of people your family, it takes it to another level. Trust, loyalty, comes into play when you call a certain team your family, because you feel comfortable and that you're safe there. So that's great. So what's next? Like what's the next project for all three of you guys to work on? Not individually, but as a team.
Good question.
That is a good question. I don't know if we've had that conversation yet. We were going to get past the first one, I think. But I mean, anything these guys want to call me in for, I would love to work with them again and again. This is such a dream that whatever it is, I'm sure I'm game.
Okay. That's good to know. There you go, Gary. That's your answer. What about you, Nick?
I think there's potential for a Daredevil Scales of Justice sequel, the way we wrote it, the way we delivered it. I personally love leaving the audience wanting more. So hopefully that's the feeling afterwards. But we'll see. I feel like I just kind of finished a marathon with these guys, and we're kind of catching our breath. But I would love to do another one.
We got to do
That's
the
great.
Spider-Man Daredevil crossover. That's what we got to do.
There you go. You know what?
Yeah.
As long as you got Yeah. Well, you got Nick. As long as Nick write a great story, then it's a go from there. That's the key is to have the story first. Have the story. Break it down into script format. Get your actors together. You already got the director in hand. You got you have Gary here for the art, and then the writer. I mean, what else do you need? Just write, and go. Pretty much. So I would like for you guys to do like I don't know. I would like you guys to work on like a superhero type of movie, like I don't know. Like remember that? I know Nick might remember the Fantastic Four. Remember that?
I slept on that one, but yeah.
You said the Fantastic Four with
The one with Chris Evans and Jessica Alba?
I slept on the movie, but I know the Fantastic Four.
Yes. Well, you had the rubber guy. He stretched like his character was like stretched. He stretched everywhere.
Yeah. But the problem with that one is it's going to be the effects. I'm like, oh my god, CG on the fire for Johnny Storm lifting machine, or a tuning fork to fly. If not green screen, then we have to figure out how to do the stretch gag, which is either CG or we're going to have to do specialized cuts, and then of course how to do levitations with the Visible Girl. Once again, more CG. Then oh my god, could you imagine the budget on us just to create the thing? The thing alone.
That's right. I am the thing.
Doing the blue eyes thing is going to be a hard one.
No.
So I think to kind of summarize it all, like yes, we will do it as soon as you fund it.
I like that one. See, that's a great director. I like that director. Well, the thing with that film, it doesn't have to be exactly like them. I was just giving you an idea of something that I would like to see. It could be close to it. You can create your own characters. It don't have to be the stretchy guy. It don't have to be the rock man. I'm just saying like superheroes in general. Create something. Try to create something new, something that hasn't been out here. Be creative, and I know you guys can pull it off.
Mr. Fantastic and Daredevil are actually good friends in the comics, so there might be an angle there.
There you go. You see what I'm saying? It's everything is clicking. What does my friend say? If you're able to go to Georgia, Thunderdome Studio has the bulk of those sets pretty cheap. Write it down. This is in Georgia. Terradome Studios in Georgia.
Right, I also took notes, Ashley, on the VHS thing. Thank you. I'll be looking into that and maybe getting some custom box artwork too.
Good. You see, this is what this show does, So yeah, Thunderdome Studios, that's in Georgia. She says those sets are pretty cheap, so as well. Jamie Hill said she was a superhero. I know you already a superhero, mama. I'll tell you. We got 3 days to 28 sets for under 3,000 for Marriage Bites.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
People don't usually throw the numbers out here, but she threw the numbers up because she wants to help. And that's why I love my team and the people on my page. Not everybody gets on this page. Not everyone comes to the show. I'm very picky on who I bring on my show, and I try to bring people that are doing the same thing that I'm doing, because that way we get to know each other and we become a big family. And if a name comes up, I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna know it because we all working together. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build a big family all over the world. All over the world, not just Boston, not just LA, not just Vegas where I work at. Everywhere. I'm trying to build the family. So if you call me and you say, man, Vic, we're stuck here. I need to know this. I need to know that. I can say, you know what, give me an hour or two and I can get back to you and help you resolve this problem. I want to be that guy. I want to be the guy that when you need something, you can call me and I can make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And how do I do that? Is by bringing people like you guys on my show from all over the world, and be able to know how you guys, work and think and like to do things. Because I might have someone somewhere else that might want to work with you guys, or you guys might want to work with somebody else, and I can make that connection happen. That's why I love what I do. California. Okay, she's in California. So, I don't know. Any shout outs you guys want to send out? Like anything else you guys want the viewers to know about what you guys are up to?
Nick, you want to go first?
Nick?
Oh,
it's like, I don't know.
Daredevil
Go ahead,
Scales
Nick.
of Justice. We're excited about it. Coming soon to YouTube probably, but maybe after a festival run. And I would encourage everyone to check out the Rising Star stunt team. They're really at the center of this. It's the stunts choreographed by Gary here, and it's the guys on his team who are definitely the centerpiece of this. They're the true daredevils, I like to say.
Okay.
Phoenix is an excellent director. I said it earlier.
Yes.
It's definitely very easy to work with. Has great vision. Very positive. I complimented him first day about the attitude that he brings. And there's one last thing I wanted to say, kind of about the family thing you were talking about, Victor. So I actually I had the privilege to talk to somebody who worked on Breaking Bad, and he was telling me just how close everyone was on that show. They worked on that show for years.
Right.
And he said, so it was like a family. He goes, it wasn't like, it was a family.
That's the beauty.
And in my mind, I was like, well, you can't really separate that from, like, that's why the product's so great, right? When everyone gels together and works together really well like that, it shows up in the final product.
Yes.
So I just wanted to plus one what you were saying there about that. And that's enough for me. Daredevil Scales of Justice. I'm excited. It was a dream come true. Play my favorite superhero since I was a kid. And
that's awesome.
Mike.
I can't wait to see it. Phoenix.
All right. Well, I mean, obviously, I got to shout out Daredevil first. I mean, that's the one that's coming the soonest, right? But if we're not treading the same water, I just had another one that I didn't direct, but I was a cinematographer for, that just wrapped. It's called Engage. That's a horror romance one that's gonna hit festivals here starting this month. So I'm excited about that. Mm-hmm. And then speaking of merging horror and romance, I'm also working on an anthology film with multiple horror romance films stories.
Okay. That's awesome. And Gary, it looks like Gary been meditating since we started. You okay?
No, bro. I've just been working at the same time.
I know, that's what I mean. That's what I meant.
So Phoenix is actually on our team chat, and he can testify. I've been posting like what 2 or 3 jobs like crazy already.
I know. Keep swiping the notifications up so I can see everybody's face.
I'm constantly working, trying to get everyone work. Big shout outs to everyone on the team. They did great. Huge thank you to Gavin for putting up with the costumes. Honestly, the way he did the costume was he's like, okay, give me your idea, give me your thoughts, give me your baseball hat size, and he made it with like in under 2 weeks, and then sent it out. I was like, okay, well, I guess we're set to go.
Right, that's great.
So, it's actually that's his mask right back there. I don't know if you can see it in my background.
The black and red one.
Yeah, that's the Daredevil.
I can't really see. I see a little bit. I just see the black and red, but I can't see the structure of it. Oh, that's awesome. So, I want to wish you guys the best. I can't wait for the movie to come out. You said it's going to come out on YouTube, right? Or Tubi?
YouTube. Okay, and that's approximately like what? Maybe another month from now, maybe? It's reasonable. It depends on the festivals, because some festivals are stingy and they don't want it like out anywhere if they're gonna play it at theirs. So we'll play that one by ear, but I think a month is it's a decent estimate.
Okay, I got a guy out from Baltimore. He does festivals. You might want to send the stuff over to him. He can play it at his festival as well. You
Yeah,
know,
that'd be great.
and just to see what happens. And going back to what I said earlier, that's what I like to do. I like to help people, and place them where they need to be placed it and see what happens. And see what plays out. So I can definitely do that. I can talk to the director June and see when he's going to do his festival. I can connect Gary to him, and Gary can, once this is ready to put out, you can send him the film, and he can put it in his festival and see what happens. The more festivals, the better. If you ask me, um, I do know Gary on stunts. He's on my list. I just double checked. Okay, good, Ashley. So reach out to Gary and see where you can help him out. And I appreciate that, and I'm sure they guys will appreciate it too. This is a teamwork effort thing here, guys. It's about helping one another. Like I said, uplift each other and position people to grow and get into bigger projects. Uh, so I'm glad guys came in here. Some of my viewers know who you guys are now, and Ashley definitely going to reach out to Gary and see what she can help in. And she's amazing. I mean, her energy is like. Sometimes she talks to me. I don't know if she's joking with me or she being serious because she's that type of woman. She's just that happy of a woman. I don't be like, are you playing or are you joking? Like, what are you doing here? But she's amazing. And check out her page as well. She got the film she's working on called Marriage Bites. It's a horror and vampire film. And she does have some perks for the. You're making me blush, Vic. You're all right, Mama. Don't blush. She is also got some perks. So anyone that wants to be a part of the film, you can buy a perk. And the perks is also a great thing to do when you filming to get your budget up. I don't know if you guys know about that, but you got some perks. You might say an example. Okay, you want to be okay. We're selling this perk. You get a small role. You get a small role, speaking role, and you get credits on your IMDb for this amount of money. Lead role for this amount with this ace actor. Whatever. This month you get a poster. You get your business promoted in the film for this much. So you come up with perks, and that's how you can start to build funds for like an Indiegogo film or something like that. So I mean, if that works for you guys, that's fine. Or unless you guys other ways of making funds for a film, jumping into a bank is always a good thing. But yeah, so I'll let you guys go. Thank you guys for coming on, Nick. You're great. Phoenix, you're also great. Gary, the vibes. Love you guys. And again, if you need to reach out to me for anything, I'm only a text away. I don't know everything, but I know people that might know everything. So if I can help you, just reach out to me, and if I can make it happen, it's done.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
All right, you guys have a good night.
Thank
you. All right, brothers. Bye, Gary. Yes, folks, this is what it's all about. Family reunion, folks. Make sure you guys check them out. Gary Choiz, Phoenix, and Nick. Make sure you guys follow them. They got this upcoming film, Daredevil. It will be up maybe in a month or so on YouTube. But this is the thing, folks. I love doing my show because I get to connect people with other great people that are doing other great things as far as filmings. Some are at different levels. Some are still here. Some are here. Some are way up here. But the thing is to connect with everyone, have everyone work with each other, help one another, so we can all uplift each other and get to where we want to get to. Selfishness is not going to take you there. stay humble, and stay working. Stay hungry, with that ambitiousness, and you're gonna get to where you want to get to. That's just basically what you need to do. And remember, you have to sacrifice sometimes too. Nothing is gonna come to your laps. You got to go out there and get it. You got to go out there and get it and put in the work if you want it done, because it's your dream and it's your vision. Only you are the only one that know how to drive that car in that dream. Okay. Along the way, you're gonna find people that are gonna help. You're going to find people that are just going to be in your way, but you don't let that stop you. You keep moving forward. You make that dream, that thought that's in your head come true, because you're the only one that can make it happen. Okay. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight to show my guest some love. I appreciate that. YouTube, you already know the vibes. Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to Facebook. Shout out to everyone around the world that tuned in tonight. And big shout out to my guests. With that being said, I'm going to let y'all go with peace, love, respect. Y'all already know the vibes. I'm out of here.
Never stop, forget it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pay stub, or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Same us for the way up, play the